So now we're going to move on to a series that is a little less known, maybe. I don't hear much about it, but I really love it. It's The Dead of Night. The first Dead of Nights were really good. This is The Dead of Night Werewolf by Night. It's a new series. The first one was about vampires and zombies and demons and war. This one is just about one guy who's a werewolf. The first comic was really good. This is Werewolf by Night 2. The first one was essentially
just the background story.
Just the background story. The guy locks himself into a room, and the ending is sweet. His wife is pregnant. After he locks himself in the room, he's not a werewolf anymore. He comes out. His wife's baby is ripped out of her stomach. Looks a little something like this. Pretty brutal. I'm a gore guy, so I think the artwork in this is amazing. I love everything about this comic book, honestly. It's made by Max, which is a Marvel brand that lets you curse, say bad words, and see blood.
So, yeah. And this one starts off on a little bit of background. Like in the last issue, we ran in at the very end to a few like mystery agents who were looking to get him arrested so that they could have control over him or something. But the beginning of it's a little bit of background on how they've followed him around and how they've seen all of the destruction he's caused, and then it cuts in to the present time where he's holding his wife.
Yeah, and you know that these guys know that he's a werewolf, but they're not doing anything to stop him from killing people. And it's just kind of, it's a mystery. It's good. It's a good like mystery that I really dig, and I don't know, like the cops come to get him and he escapes, and I love how you guys have seen read Watchmen, of course. If you haven't, do it because you're an idiot. Anyway, Rorschach escapes from the police, tries to by jumping out of a window. This guy does it and totally succeeds. Rorschach doesn't. So I think that's really, really neat how people just jump out of windows to escape from police. If you ever got to get away from the cops, just out the window and just fingers crossed you got a 50-50 shot.
There you go. And then he runs away, cops are chasing him, he ditches down into a subway and hides underneath it, and the cops see him jump, but they've got other things going on, so they get back to where they're going. And then he tells us how he's got a 28-day cycle that he lives on because of how he's a werewolf, and every 28 days is a full moon, so he's got 28 days to figure out what he's going to do before he becomes a werewolf again.
Pretty much the whole comic is just a countdown. Like, he's walking down the street, it's like, oh, I got 26 days left, or 3 days left, you know? It's just like, and I like that. I like how it's just like his anticipation of like, got 26 days until I'm totally screwed.
Yeah. And each time it tells us how much time he's got left. There's a good scene of what he's doing in this time. As it goes on, he grows a pretty nice looking beard.
Yeah. But it's just the only thing that, I mean, he's hiding out for like 27 days, and apparently the news is all over the place. Like, he's all over the news because his wife had the baby ripped out of him or something, and no one seems to notice him. He's like sitting there eating with people in a homeless shelter, and the dudes are talking about it in the homeless shelter. They're like, oh, look at that. Like, this guy's crazy. And, like, they're like, oh, yeah, he's crazy. And he's, like, sitting right there. It's like, hey, what's up?
He's right next to him.
I'm just hanging out by you. You're talking about me. If you don't know it, because I got a beard. Because beards are very...
And then
serious.
it goes back even further, like a year before when he met his wife. And it tells us how he met her and how they had their whole love story going before it cuts back into the present time, where he's like, oh, I have, like, no time left. I'm going to werewolf out real soon.
You're going to find out through these, if you continue to watch these, that I am a sucker for a love story. So I love this story. I think the love story in this is rad. I think it sucks that he or someone killed his wife, but I'm a sucker. I love all love stories in comic books. So I really enjoyed that part. I like the character dilemmas. We said that already. Then we meet one of the agents. He's about to Hulk out, I guess.
Yeah, he's going back to his little safe room.
And
he knows it's probably not a good idea because they know where it's at, but he knows that that's the only way that he can prevent hurting somebody. So he tries to go back.
And then we got this lady with scars on her face. I like to call her Scarface. And obviously, you know, they have met before, and he
slashed her.
Yeah. And she's like, you should join us or let us help you. And he's like, no, F you. He actually says that. And you can say that in Punisher Max. F words.
Marvel Max.
Punisher Max. You got it.
Yeah.
Anywho, so he goes in, and essentially those agent dudes, like, tore up his safe room. So he was like, he's like, okay, I'll help you out, or I'll let you help me out.
Calls her, and he's about to turn into his werewolf, and then the van shows up and grabs him.
He just grabs him. My least favorite part about this whole series, so this whole comic so far, is I love the artwork. I do, but this is hilarious. This guy's belly button. That's his belly button right there.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. But I mean,
it looks like he's pregnant. He just had a baby.
It's awful, but he's in the process of turning into a werewolf. So maybe your belly button gets very awkward.
Keep looking. That's a belly button right there.
It's terrible. It doesn't make any sense.
That's him. That's his belly button. It's really funny. I don't know.
So
you could just stick your thumb in there.
They're telling him, or he tells them that he's like, this isn't gonna work. I'm about to turn into a werewolf. Like, we got to do something. And they're like, no, it's okay. We got this sedative. And they put it in him, and he blacks out. Well, when he wakes up to a pretty brutal scene.
Yeah, because they should have used more medicine, which is what it says right there. In blood on the wall, and all the agents are dead. I really loved it because they set it up like these agents are going to be like main characters in the story, and then they kill them. Just like in the first one, they set up that his wife was a main character, and
She's
then
gone.
She dies. I really hope that they just keep doing that. I love that. I think it's brutal.
It's always a good ending when something that you think's gonna happen doesn't happen, and a bunch of people die.
I guess on the next one, if that happens, it's gonna be a little weirder because we're gonna expect that to happen.
It's true.
So
maybe we'll throw it a different route.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope the next one's really good. Anyway, Dead of Night number 2, I give it a 4 out of 5.
I'll go to a 4. It sounds right.
4 out of 5. Not bad. Here's our final take on Dead of Night, Werewolf by Night number 2.